I feel like Milwaukee's constantly changing. I feel like developing is definitely a word to use. Different, it's definitely different, and it's very diverse compared to other places.
Milwaukee's a vibe. It's a vibe. There's a nice melting pot here of people coming from everywhere. So that's something that I really appreciate about the city.
I think sometimes, Milwaukee, it's like the only time we make it on the map is like when something happens, but honestly, it's a really cool city. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of food.
We are a city built on small business. We have over 200 locally owned and independently operated restaurants, many of whom have been nominated for James Beard. We're the birthplace of Harley Davidson. We're the birthplace of brewing.
Strauss was one of the last Pepsi brewmasters. This is all this over here. When I first started working here, this didn't exist, that wasn't there, this was all open lots. A lot of this has been redeveloped.
When you think about Milwaukee and what's going on and how fast this city is growing, like it's becoming a metropolis.
It's definitely Democratic. We got a Democratic mayor, Cavalier Johnson, who's again young, like seeing that. I know Wisconsin is a flip state. It can be blue one term, red the next. It goes back and forth.
You got some people in Milwaukee that just fed up with politics. Like they like, man, we don't want Republican, we don't want Democrat.
Our country, with the two-party system, everyone's so divided. We look at in Europe, we see multiple parties and they have coalitions to elect people. I feel like while our country is so engraved into the two-party system and it's going to be very hard to change, I feel like because because even in both parties, we've seen the Republican and Democrat parties that they are still so divided within each party.
We're all citizens of America, and if everybody learns this whole idea of toning things down and learning to work together, the gentleman who owns this company is a dear friend of mine, and we sit across the table from one another politically, and we can have a great time together. And so that's just the example of how we should be.
Over the next 4 years, honestly, just the rest of my life, I really hope to see peace, prosperity, people really growing in Milwaukee, seeing the city thrive.
I just hope that in the next 4 years, everything kind of calms down and that, whatever happens, it just, things ease out because it's been rough for a couple of years.
I really hope that we can improve our economy. We see prices constantly going up in groceries, and we see low income and middle class people not even be able to afford necessities such as my family. Sometimes we aren't able to get the name brand stuff at the grocery store because we just simply can't afford it.
For the next 4 years, I hope that we as a people start to treat each other more like people and get away from toxic systems. You know what I mean? Toxicity, because we can be involved in some toxic stuff, and it's not. I don't think it's always intentional. I think sometimes we nonchalantly go about certain things, and if we stop being so nonchalant and start to take things more serious, than we do, that we can detoxify.
I just hope everybody has a good time here. Everything is safe, and everybody arrives back at their final destination safely and can go back and say, we had a great time in Milwaukee.